Last time on Fan War. Slender Man, the faceless stalker, entered the arena but was destroyed by Spawn. But now he is returning to fight his ultimate Creepypasta rival, SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile. So what happens when a nigh-omnipotent monster battles a nigh-godly supernatural entity? I'm one fish mob, and it's my job to see who would win in a fight. The SCP Foundation, a shady government organization created to secure paranormal objects with supernatural creatures and contain them within secret facilities around the world. Each SCP, as they're called, is designated with a level of danger. But there are only three main classifications of danger. Safe, well understood SCPs that are easy to contain and not of a real risk. Euclid, an SCP that's a lot harder to keep contained and is not really well understood. And the dreaded Cater class. SCPs that need a constant vigilance on them to make sure their anomalous properties don't show and can easily cause an XJ class end of the world scenario. But no Cater class is as dangerous as the SCP designated with the item number 682, or 682 as he's pronounced short. SCP-682 is presumably an undead reptile-like creature that has an extreme hatred towards all life and will actively attempt to destroy any and all living things in close proximity. He has been sentenced to death row by the Foundation because of this. But unfortunately for them, he's always managed to survive somehow. Because of this as well, no one is allowed to even talk to SCP-682 in fear of sparking one of his enraged states. In his enraged state, he most certainly will break out of its containment and become almost unstoppable. And when he goes out to kill, he has many weapons to use to maul his victims in the most brutal fashion. His mouth is lined with a mix of blunt and sharp teeth used for crushing bones and slicing through flesh. And you bet once he has you in his jaws, he's never letting go. His claws can stab, slash, and pierce his victims, or even pin them down with. And his tail, just like a normal crocodile, he can use it like a club. He's capable of knocking helicopters out of the sky with his tail, that's how powerful it is. But how does he reach the helicopters? That's easy. He changes size. His size-changing powers allows him to drastically change his physical height and weight up to 60 meters, depending on how much material he sheds or consumes though. SCP-682 has always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. But his biggest strength is his adaptability. If he is nearly killed or harmed by something that actually hurts him, he can temporarily become immune to it, or get permanent adaptations. Example, he once gained wings and was able to fly, while one time after being exposed to SCP-173, the statue that snaps the neck of whoever isn't watching it, he grew over 100 eyes all over his body with capsules over them so that way he never blinks. Even though it takes time, his regeneration will aid his adaptability, allowing him to regenerate entire limbs and even entire parts of his body. But they'll have to get past his durability first, which can protect him from heavy gunfire and even a point-blank explosion from one of the Foundation's nuclear warheads. SCP-682's most bizarre power comes from whatever he eats. It doesn't matter if it's organic or inorganic, he still gets energy from it, and because of this, he can shapeshift from any sort of food he has eaten. He has been proven to be one of the most powerful SCPs in existence. He has defeated the far more experienced SCP-076-2, revived and nearly killed the indestructible SCP-096, and can become multiple living things after being cut apart. Has breached containment a total of 6 times successfully, and survived all of his termination attempts, making him even more powerful. exposed to SCP-409 and became immune to it. Survived having half of its body blown off, and can move and talk with 13% of its original mass. Can survive with just 1% of its original mass, and can even escape the wrath of SCP-343. Or in other words, he escaped God himself. To help him out, his organs are non-vital. So in other words, he has no organs that are useful. They're all useless to him. So if one of them gets stabbed or cut out, he doesn't really need it. But despite being near omnipotent, it actually has some critical weaknesses that can be exploited if given the chance. It will not ally to humans to his advantage, even though it would improve its capabilities a lot. His basic weaponry is not very useful. He has very little real combat experience, and enough damage can kill him before the healing factor can kick in. I don't think anyone would want to get near him to even try that. They call him the hard-to-destroy reptile for a reason. He deserves all that fear given to him. The Slender Woods, a dark, foreboding place filled with darkness and demise. And somewhere in the woods is a mansion. The mansion belongs to the creature that stalks the woods, known as Slender Man. Originally created as an entry in a scary photo contest, the Slender Man quickly caught on as a popular internet horror story as a child-stealing, man-hunting creature of demonic origins. But in order to kill his victims, his tentacles are his main way of grabbing. He can rip trees out of their roots with these tentacles, and he can send his tentacles out of his body for long-range attacks. His other most commonly used power is his paranoia fuel power. This can make those around him feel paranoid, but this doesn't work on everyone. His most used power is slender walking, which is basically a type of teleportation that Slender Man uses. It can be used instantly, but doesn't work if he is being watched. His other most used power is the insta-kill. This power clouds up cameras with static and kills his helpless victim, and is used in tandem with his slender walking. But only works if he is being looked at directly. But when it happens, there is no way to avoid it. He has a healing factor that allows him to heal almost instantly, but his most effective power is mind control. Mostly used on his proxies, his mind control is unbreakable, and the only way to escape it is if Slender Man dies, the victim dies, or Slender Man lets you go. But of course, preferring ambush over rushing into battle, he will camouflage himself within the scenery or darkness he's in. He has done many impressive feats over the years. He has killed countless wanderers through the Slender Woods, had his own video game series, killed a man who almost outsmarted him, and gained mimetic popularity. But he does have some crucial weaknesses. He can't move if he's being watched, but since that's an unfair weakness, I will leave that weakness out of the fight so he'll be able to move freely. His insta-kill attack only works if someone looks at him directly, otherwise there is no way to kill his victims otherwise. He has been shot to death, and the reason why he hides his face is because it's his weakest point. Yes, that faceless head is actually his most critical weak spot. It's the softest part of his body, and if it gets a clean blow directly to it, he will die. It makes you wonder why he doesn't put something over his head to help protect it, like some sort of helmet or force field. But still, you'll have to get close to him in order to do that first. But first, you'll have to get close to him in order to kill him first. There's a reason why they call him the Stalker of the Slender Woods for a reason. And if you're in his sights, you're pretty much a goner.
SCP-682 just broke out at Gate B. I want all available helicopters and MTF units at Gate B now. I repeat, SCP-682 is...
Who are you then?
The top of the food chain.
Let's see how worth fight.
So why did SCP-682 win? Slenderman definitely held the advantage in effective powers and means of attacking, and his healing factor definitely outmatched 682's by a long shot, and Slenderman is a nigh godlike entity. But 682, however, has already been proven to be able of taking beating after beating and always come back stronger than ever, literally, and he was easily far larger. His adaptability was able to help him fight Slenderman as well, and many of his weaknesses aren't as easily accessible, whereas Slenderman's weaknesses are nothing but problems for him in this fight. Or in other words, SCP-682 has no easily accessible weaknesses, while Slenderman's most critical weak spot is always exposed. Slenderman died from 7 gunshots. SCP-682 survived a point-blank explosion from a nuclear warhead before. And even though Slender Man is a godlike entity, SCP-682 has already fought and defeated / survived deities, demigods, and even God himself before. Though there is no saying SCP-682 wouldn't do the same thing here. Looks like Slender Man just has to face the facts. The winner is SCP-682.